Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Greetings, welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, so honored to welcome you. So thank you so very much. In this week's episode, we are revisiting the number one topic from the podcast's first year. Can you guess what it is? Yes, indeed. If you tuned into last week's episode, it was a replay of that number one most popular episode. And so you know by now that it is indeed clients, getting clients in our Reiki business. Probably it is no surprise to you. Certainly it is no surprise to the Reiki Business Collective, where I conducted a poll on what they thought the number one most popular topic of the podcast's first year was, and 90-something% of respondents guessed indeed that it was getting clients. And so in this week's episode, we are going to dive into some practical ways to get clients. If you tuned into last week's episode, you know that it really focuses a lot on the idea of getting clients, theory of getting clients. I share with you some of my tips for getting clients, but these are very theoretical in a sense. And this week's episode is going to focus in on some practical tips for getting clients in our Reiki business. But first, I really want to let you know that there is a lot of exciting stuff on the way, and I'm very honored to be able to share it with you. First, the Distance Reiki Business Builder is almost ready to open for enrollment. This is a new program that I've created, and this program focuses specifically on distance Reiki business. And so you can join the waitlist at standingstoneshealing.com/distance biz, B-I-Z, distance biz, to learn more and to join the waitlist. It will be available in the near future, and all those on the list will be able to join before the program officially opens. I'm also excited to share that if you are a member of the Reiki Business Collective, the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/ReikiBiz, we have some opportunities coming up to connect, network, and gather as a group. So if you're not already, please do join that Facebook group, because this opportunity will be open only to Facebook group members. And finally, big news. Be listening in and on the lookout for information for something exciting coming in November. Yes, I'll tell you more about it on the podcast, but coming up in November, we've got something really excited going on that I hope you will be a part of. So clients, getting clients in our Reiki business. Now, of course, I talked in last week's episode about my thoughts about the term getting clients and how it really doesn't resonate with me. But I'm going to use that language talking about it because that's the language that we all use when we talk about getting clients. That's what's familiar. And so when I say getting clients, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't have to say, well, actually, I don't really know how I feel about that term. It's really not the best way to look at it. And getting clients, yep, I talked all about it in last week's episode. So this week is going to focus on some real tangible ways for you to approach bringing clients into your Reiki business. You know, this is an ongoing challenge for all kinds of Reiki business owners, often at all stages of the Reiki business journey. And if it's not a challenge to get clients, let's say that you have a fully booked schedule all of the time. If it's not a challenge to get clients or students or people buying your Reiki-infused products, whatever you might be selling in your Reiki business, if it's not a challenge to have a fully booked schedule or be selling like crazy or whatever, we still have these ongoing questions about bringing people into our business, about reaching out, about advertising, getting the word out, and educating people about what we do in our business, who we are, and how we do it. And so even if we have a fully booked schedule, maxed out classes, everyone's buying our products, they're flying off of the shelves, we're still always in our Reiki business going to have questions about client acquisition. Because let's look at an example like Coca-Cola. We all know what Coca-Cola is. We've probably all had a sip of it or two at one time or another. Isn't it like the most popular drink in the world or something? But Coca-Cola still advertises. There are still advertisements for Coke, even though Coke has like incredible market share. They are global, and yet Coke is still working on client acquisition, still asking itself how to advertise, how to get the word out about Coke, how to bring in new drinkers and returning drinkers as well. And so if Coca-Cola is having these discussions and questions, then of course we are in our Reiki business as well. In our Reiki business, anything might be helpful for bringing in clients. Something like a conversation in the grocery store or on the elevator, a flyer, an advertisement on TV, a radio spot, a billboard. Any way might bring in clients. And any way might bring in one or two clients. Now, I have to digress here for a second and mention that leads, people who see our stuff and maybe even reach out to us, maybe get on our mailing list or comment on posts or attend a workshop or express interest in our services, don't necessarily end up as clients. And so I think it's important for us to take a step back and to recognize that any way that we might advertise isn't so much a way of getting clients as it is about getting the word out in order to hopefully convert some of those people into clients, because not everyone who sees your posts or reads your emails or listens to your radio advertisement, sees your flyer hanging up, or sees your big honkin' billboard is going to turn into a client. So advertising, getting the word out is a way to help bring clients in, but just like every single Coca-Cola ad that you see doesn't make you drop everything and rush to the corner store to buy a Coke and chug it down, our ways, quote unquote, ways of getting clients are not going to result in 100% of the people who see the post, read the email, hear the radio spot to drop everything and book with you. Now, if you do have some kind of secret like that, let me know. My guess is that if you did, you wouldn't be listening to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. You would be somewhere on your privately owned island in your billion-dollar mansion, because if you had cracked that code, you would be incredibly rich. People would be banging down your door. But also, I want to say that if you did have something, a method that everyone dropped everything instantly and booked with you immediately, I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds a little nefarious. But so any single thing that we might do might bring clients to us, might get clients, even crazy and different kinds of things that you can think of. Anything might result in someone wanting and to work with us and then to work with us. But I believe that in order to really be effective in our Reiki business, it's important for us to consider the systems that we put into place to bring clients in. Now, when I say systems, I'm going to break this down a little bit because the word systems, some people might be thinking, oh, no, I don't want systems in my Reiki business. I'm very free-flowing. I'm very go with the flow. I'm tapped into Reiki. Reiki is all about going with the flow, and I don't want any systems in my Reiki business. Fair enough. And when I say systems, I really mean something that we can do again and again and again that is going to create results of bringing people into our Reiki business in a way that isn't as haphazard as just trying this and trying that. Well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Oh, why don't you create a billboard? Oh, go wear a Reiki t-shirt around town for the day. Again, any of these things might bring in some clients, and we also might end up doing them one time or two times. But when we talk about systems, this is a way of doing something again and again and again that becomes more stable and even more predictable in bringing in clients, or even in determining that it doesn't bring in clients so well. But when we can create some kind of process around bringing clients in, and we enact that process almost in a habitual kind of way, then it's going to help us to increase the chances of bringing someone in from that method. Now, in business terms, you might hear this referred to as a funnel. I'm honestly not a big fan of the term funnel. You may also hear this referred to as the customer journey, breaking down how someone gets to you. So the point from when they hear about you to the point when they become a client and book, and all of those points, the touch points along the way. But we really don't have to get that technical about it. A system is something as simple as, at the end of every one of your Reiki sessions, asking your client if they would like to book again. That's a system for getting clients that is not complicated. It's easy to do. If we make it a habit, it's no longer something that we just think to do every once in a while at the end of our sessions, but rather it becomes something that we automatically do in our sessions. We automatically at the end of the session say, oh, hey, when would you like to come in again? Well, it was so wonderful to see you, Jennifer. When would you like to come in again? Or, Jennifer, it was so great to see you. I know that today, Tuesday at 11 o'clock was a good time for you. Is that a good time for you for our next session? And this is a way, a very, very simple way that we can set up a process, a system for booking another appointment, bringing a client back that doesn't take a lot of thought, a lot of effort, or is overly complicated. I do offer in the Build Your Reiki Business program in module number 6 on marketing, a few of these examples of how we can go and put a process in place that helps to bring people into our Reiki business in a way that maybe isn't quite so haphazard. And I'm going to share a couple of those with you as well. Simply asking clients at the end of a session is one very simple system. Another very simple system is, I was recently talking to a Reiki business building session client, and they expressed a real interest. They enjoyed doing group things. They really like doing group things. And I recommended creating a system for client acquisition around this interest in doing group things. And this might look something like going out to your local library or a community center and offering a talk about Reiki and giving a little Reiki 101 talk and letting people know about you and who you are and what you do in your Reiki business. Now, what you did after that, the next point on the quote unquote customer journey, would be up to you and your goals. Maybe it would be that you would welcome them to schedule a session with you at a discount. Maybe it would be that you would welcome them to take a Reiki course. Maybe it would be that you welcome them to a paid workshop, whatever it might be for you in your Reiki business, but offering something that is easy for people to say yes to, like a talk, a Reiki discussion, a meditation, a sound healing journey, or something easy like that, can be a great process for bringing people into our Reiki business. Now, in my own Reiki business, I've done this plenty of times. I've personally had a lot of success with this and a lot of enjoyment too. I really love using this kind of process in my Reiki business because it works great. It's fun for me. And even if people decide not to connect with me after that, they're still getting something out of it, where I will offer a workshop, typically a free workshop, not always, sometimes it's paid, typically a free workshop that people can come to, and then invite them to work with me afterwards. If they say no, no problem. It was still great to have them in the workshop, and they still got lots of great information and encouragement from the workshop. But if they decide to move forward and work with me, even better for them as well, because they get even more benefit. But this is an example of a system that we can set up in our Reiki business. Again, it doesn't have to be too complicated. So when you hear the word system, I really want to encourage you to not think that it means that you need to overcomplicate it, or to use the fancy business term funnel, to have some kind of complicated, crazy funnel. You can even forget the word funnel. It's really just about bringing people to you, helping them get to know you and your Reiki business, and giving them the opportunity to become your client, your student, your customer, or whatever it is for your Reiki business. Another kind of system can be something as simple as saying, okay, each Monday, I am going to pick up the phone and call 5 local businesses and ask them if I can partner with them to offer Reiki to their employees at a discount. And so then part of your client acquisition is this very simple system of every Monday, it's your business calling day, and you are on the phone with 5 local businesses. Of course, keeping in mind that not all 5 businesses are going to say yes, and you're not going to necessarily have amazing results getting clients from all 5 of those businesses every Monday. But holy cow, if you just do that for a few Mondays, that's, 5, 15, 20 businesses that you've reached out to in the local area. And even if they don't express interest in working with you and presenting a discount to their employees, holy cow, you now have 20 local businesses who know about you and what you do. For me, in my Reiki business, I've had all kinds of systems over the years. Some have worked better than others. And I will say that right now in my Reiki business, I am doing some deeper reflection on some of my systems, maybe doing away with some and incorporating others, because this systems work is an ongoing journey. Remember, just like Coke is always considering what kind of advertisements, do they still have that polar bear? Is that still something that they do, the Coke bear? Coke is always reflecting on its outreach, its advertising. And so too in our Reiki business, this is a process that we can do again and again and should reflect upon from time to time. And so I will say that in my Reiki business is a time of reflection on some of the systems I've used and some of the systems that I might like to incorporate. Sometimes systems break down, things change, and sometimes we just are ready for something fresh and new. And so I do encourage us to, once we incorporate a system and try it out a few times and get into the groove of using it, to see how it's working for us. Is it having the results that we might like? Is there a way that we can tweak it to improve our results? But I do want to encourage us not to think about client acquisition as let me try this and let me try this and let me try this, almost like a popcorn type of thing, but rather as a systems kind of thing in which we reflect upon ways that fit with us and resonate with us, that feel right to us, that we can implement even on a very simple basic level and do again and again and again, to have thought and intention behind that idea of getting clients. So what are your recommendations for systems? What kind of systems do you have set up in your Reiki business for client acquisition? Please do, if you're on YouTube, feel free to drop it down below in the comments for us. And if you are in the Reiki Business Collective, please do share it with us at facebook.com/groups/ReikiBiz. And of course, as always, you are welcome to grab the Reiki Biz Kit at standingstoneshealing.com/ReikiBizKit. Sending so many blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build. Sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.